Hello, and welcome to our first edition of Careers in STEM. And by now, you should have started the online internship with UNT, going over web design and software engineering. And so, this is like a secondary segment of that where we just kind of go over different careers in STEM and how to, get into these careers. So, we're going to be talking about like majors, specific majors to get into certain fields, certain career clusters in STEM, and we'll look over a little bit of how much you earn in these areas, and just kind of a quick overview of certain careers in STEM. Okay, so we'll go to the next page. So welcome to Careers in STEM. And so we'll be discussing, like I said earlier, different career path options within STEM and how you can pursue and prepare for these career fields. So what is STEM? We hear the STEM, being thrown around a lot. STEM, STEM, STEM. So STEM basically stands for science, technology, engineering, and math. And STEM is it's like an umbrella term for careers and studies within these specific fields, within science, technology, engineering, and math. So we're going to be looking at, these specific careers. So we have 5 top areas in STEM careers. And this is me just, trying to, clump things and make it a little more a little simpler. So this is not definitive. Don't take my exact word for this, but this is like a general overview of specific areas, the main areas in STEM in terms of career and studies. And so the first one is engineering. We all know what engineering is: medicine and healthcare, research, computer science and software design, and finally teaching. I know teaching is, it's a STEM career. It can be a STEM career, especially if you're teaching sciences. It's definitely a STEM career. Okay, so let's move on. So the first one we're going to be talking about today is computer science and software design. So what is computer science? You should have an general idea of this. We all use computers. So computer science is the study of computers and computational systems, including the theory, design, development, and application of software and software systems. So it's basically the study of computers, or how to make the software that go with computers. Computer engineering, I like to think, is more of the hardware engineering, but computer science a lot of times deals with software. So typical majors for computer science and software design field. So the typical major for the above STEM area is obviously computer science. And you have the option of going into different specialties as a computer science major. And typically, the computer science degree takes 4 years in an undergraduate college. And then there are options for an advanced degree like a master's, which a lot of time takes 1 year, and then a PhD if you're planning to go into research or teaching at advanced level, and that takes 4 years. And a lot of these depend on the career path. Some career paths don't require a master's or a PhD, and others do. But the baseline a lot of times is a 4 year degree. And again, there are other training options that do not involve a college degree, especially like something very specific within IT, like let's say quick response within IT. You need just specific certain skills. You can find programs that offer, a 2 year training program or an associate. But a lot of times, computer science majors typically go the 4 year route in an undergraduate institution. Okay. So the principal areas of study within computer science include AI, computer systems and networks, security, very important, database systems, human and computer interaction, vision and graphics, which most of us use in terms of gaming and all that fun stuff, programming languages, software engineering, bioinformatics, and which is very important nowadays, given the current pandemic situation, and then theory of computing. So careers in computer science. So what I did was, from the previous page, I picked specific areas of studies and expanded on certain careers within that area of study. So the first one is artificial intelligence, and career options in this field includes an AI architect, artificial intelligence researcher, learning engineer, and an average pay of 121,000 a year. So this field typically deals with developing software that interact that deal with artificial intelligence. So you would typically find this in people who make AI for robots, and it's a rather broad area of study, but it is with artificial intelligence. The next one is human computer interactions, so which a lot of time ties into artificial intelligence, but a lot of these are used by like large corporations that want to study or test how their technology interacts with how customers interact with their technology. So common careers in this area will include user experience designer, user experience researcher, and interaction designer. So they specifically deal with a lot of times customer service, and not just that. A lot of times they could work with a company like Khan Academy to create a software that is easy to use, user friendly, interface for students to use. So it can also be a broad field of work, and it has an average pay of about $88,000 a year. These are yearly average pays, by the way. And the next one is computer systems and networks, and these this career field a lot of time deals with administration for networks. So the people who control the administrative, do that the administrative work for example, the school district. They control the whole software and interface of Denton ISD. So a lot of career options in this field include network administrator, like I mentioned earlier, a network analyst, someone that that would call in to kind of look at the current situation with the interface or the network for a school district, for example, and a network architect, I can say that word, who I guess sets up networks for example, again, a school district. It's an example that hits close to home. So the average pay for this field would be $59,000 to about 118, and it depends on the role. So, for example, a network analyst would be on the $59,000 range of end of the range, and then the network administrator or architect would be closer to the $118,000 end of the range. Okay, so the next one is graphics and game development. So this include app developers, video game designers, video game programmers, software engineers. I like to think they're the coolest of all the computer, people in computer science, because they make our lives fun, to be honest. And so they have a pay range of $72,000 to $99,000. And as they make the apps, they make video games, they make software that go with these video games. They engineer all those things. And the next cluster would be software engineering. And these include your web developers, software development engineers, and software engineers. So these people, a lot of times, they focus more on the software engineering part of the spectrum. So they make the codes that go with a lot of interfaces and games and whatnot. And they have an average pay of about $82,000 a year. So they are the ones who do, I feel like, the hard coding, so to speak. Okay, and then the last one would be systems and theory. So this would be your systems administrator, systems analyst, a data scientist, a machine learning engineer. And these people a lot of times work in the rather research or educational field. So they're the ones who teach, computer science, and you find a lot of mathematicians, theoreticians, statisticians. Not sure how to say it, but you find a lot of them in these fields, and they, a lot of times, especially in theory, they get the PhD. They're doing the hard math that goes with computer science, and they have a pay range of about 88,000 to 100,000, and this 100,000 would be a lot of times the theorists, because this is technically a lot of times the average pay of a college professor. So it leads me to think, theorists would be in this end of the earning range. So yeah, you have your systems administrator and systems analyst, data scientists, all that good stuff. So for like that, data scientists, for example, they would be the ones invited to do number crunching for, let's say, research for a survey. For example, I was recently working with this professor who was collecting data in Denton about hospital readmissions, and so he collected a lot of data, 10,000 cells of data that contained age, income range, race, educational level, and so a data scientist, he had to employ a data scientist to help him, organize his data and, you know, set it up in such a way that it is easy to use, easy to, put to use. So a lot of times they're in the research field in higher education. Okay, so that's it for careers in computer science. This is not an extensive list. There are several areas, and I urge you to do your own personal research, especially with the previous page. If you go through this page, you can find careers in all of these areas of studies. And so, but this is just a quick overview of some of the major ones. Now we'll look at a sample freshman schedule for a computer science major. So mind you, this schedule is for a student taking 18 credit hours, and a lot of times the courses are pretty similar across several universities. There's still minor variations, but a lot of times it's pretty standard, pretty similar. So this person is taking 18 credit hours, and this is the standard schedule. So wherever you see white space, that is free time. That is when the person is not in class. And similar classes have the same color coding. So most classes at UNT, for example, will either meet Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and some will meet on Thursday and Tuesdays and Thursdays. So in this schedule, you see a lot of it. See, some Tuesday, Thursday classes. These two, some Monday, Wednesday, Friday classes. Some of them, like labs, will only meet once a week, and then something like a research-heavy class will meet 5 days a week. I've never had a class that much. I'm not a computer science major, so I'm not quite sure if you will have classes every day, but be open to several possibilities. But the standard is Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or Tuesday, Thursday, and then some classes that meet once a week because they're labs.